Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to our show. We have gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the multiverse, two of the nerdiest geeks to be found. We proudly present the professor and her geeky girlness herself, Ace. And now it's time. GeekyKOOL presents Professor and Ace.
Everybody, welcome to episode 67 of GeekyKOOL presents Professor and Ace. Along with us, we've got our good buddy Shpoo from Skallywag Productions. We're glad you're here with us.
I'm in the middle.
You are in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you. Do you want it like this, or do we want to make it with the little spots around us?
No, I'm good like this.
Okay. I like this.
All right, this works for me too. All right. So we wanted to do something a little different tonight, guys. We wanted to go with question and answer time. And Shpoo has gathered some questions from the interwebs for us, from people that have asked questions already. If you have questions, feel free to throw those in the comments. We will be glad to get to those. And we've got Mandy already commenting, saying, "Hey, and Mandy, we've got your questions." So we are going to ask those along with other ones. We've got one from Ray, and we've got and some from Shpoo. So we're going to go with this just because we thought it'd be fun to let you guys get to know us a little better.
Yeah.
So I had like 24 questions before I even got any of the ones from anybody else. So a lot of several of them are just kind of, quick answer type of deals. There's even one like kind of lightning round sort of thing. A few of them that will require a little more, elaboration on. My phone likes to do this thing on GeekyKOOL where everyone starts sounding like robots that are underwater. So if I suddenly disappear, that's why I just have to go out and come right back in. So it'll take like 2 seconds.
It does do that, yeah. I don't know what that's all about, but it does that all the time for you.
I think
this is the only time it ever does it.
I think it's because we're both in the same house.
That may be true. Plus, maybe you're ghosts. So
yeah, we do.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like my Wisdom of Yoda shirt. Even has little things that you can pick the wisdom that you want there on it. So yeah, I was feeling wise today.
Yoda is awesome.
Yoda is awesome. I agree. All right. So let's start off with some questions.
Dive right in.
We want to know how to pick our brain here.
Yeah, I'm actually afraid of these. I'm not even.
There's nothing too scary. Nothing too scary. Except for maybe one that I threw on purpose just to throw you a curveball, but that it's in the lightning round. I'll give you that. We'll get there.
It's the 51st shade of gray. That's what I want to know.
Question number one. At what specific moment in your life did you know, or at the very least accept, that you were truly a nerd, geek, whatever you'd like to call it?
Oh, that's a.
I'll go first because I've got an answer for this.
Okay.
Kindergarten year. So I grew up in the outside of one small town, and we moved because my parents wanted to put us in a different school district. They liked the different school district. My father went to that school district. Anyway, so it was just basically moving across county lines is all we really did. And so, and I knew some of the kids that were in my class because I went to church with some of them, but I didn't know them, a lot of them really well. But so first thing, kindergarten year, I come into kindergarten with a towel around my neck and a clothespin because I'm Captain Marvel. And not, I say the magic word Shazam, I put it on and running around the playground as Captain Marvel. And I got shunned for being so different. I didn't care.
That's going to lead into question number 2, by the way.
All right. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. But that is when I knew I was different, and I didn't have the term geek or nerd at that point. Right. But I knew that I was different, and I didn't really care because this is what I liked. I liked the show. I like comic books. I liked superheroes, and if you don't, that's okay. This is me.
I I think mine was a little later just because I was like a secret nerd. Because
a lot of girls aren't right. Girls have to be secret nerds.
The girl nerd didn't get accepted till just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And I admitted I was a girl nerd way before it was like the cool thing to do.
Right.
But I think I was probably like 9 or 10. And it's when all my friends started playing D&D.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play with them. All the guys started playing with D&D.
Right.
And all of my female friends at the time, all my little girlfriends at the time were like, you're just such a nerd. You're such a geek. Oh my gosh. You're so, because this was after, like Revenge of the Nerds had come out and all this stuff. And I was a smart girl who liked, and they knew I played video games and I liked comic books. And now I wanted to play this like fantasy role-playing game. Right. And yeah, so I think it was other people really like made me realize that I was a nerd and a geek. And then the guys did not let me play.
Boo!
Because, I couldn't be a nerd or a geek because I was a girl. And so I didn't start playing D&D until I was probably 13 or 14 when a group of guys finally allowed me to play with them. But
I'm glad they finally let you play.
But yeah, I think I was probably 5th or 6th grade before
right.
I like embraced my nerdness.
Well, and interestingly, because I've talked to a couple of ladies that were around my age, and one of them was the girl I had a crush on from like 4th grade to like freshman year. She was popular, cheerleader, all of that. Hi, Shauna, if you're watching. She's made comments. She does watch occasionally. And apparently she told me at one of our reunions that she was really into comic books and really into a lot of the geek stuff, but she couldn't tell anybody.
No.
Right. And I just found that super sad because I would have been like, I would have been right there with you, supporting you. And I was always inviting girls to come play, D&D or other role-playing games with us or whatever we were geeking out to, because a lot of my friends were girls. I had some guy friends that were geeks, but most of the majority of my friends in high school were girls. And I'm like, come play with us. And a lot of times they just weren't so sure. I'm like, we will accept you. One, you smell better than they do, and you're prettier. I would rather have you with me than them. And so that was always plus I always liked girls. I always got along well with females. But my mom's side of the family, there's 7 sisters and 1 brother. So actually, they're 8 sisters, including my mom. She had 7 sisters, and they had 1 brother. So I had a lot of female cousins and a lot of, so I had 2 younger sisters. I'm very okay playing with girls as long as, if you want to geek, then let's play together. So,
yeah.
But in another person that I talked to recently who I dated in high school, she told me that secretly her and one of her boy cousins would get together and they would play D&D. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? I would have brought you into my group and we would have all played. That would have been great. And then I was teasing her. I'm like, we should play. We should get a game support. But anyway, but it is sad that it was that way.
You just couldn't. Like
now
it's just very the in thing to be.
Right.
Like,
it is.
80s,
as it should be. It should have been back then. So Jason's got a comment here for this. He's going to answer for us.
I was 12. My entire Christmas list was a copy.
And I love that, Jason. You knew the right answer.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah, the Hitchhiker's Guide is great. So even though Ace hasn't read it yet, though. So, but that's because people keep stealing her copy.
I know. We need to fix that.
Every time I buy a copy, somebody borrows it, and then they never return it.
You need to not tell anybody you have it. Read it, because it'll take you like 2 hours to read the entire 5 books.
Yes, it's a real fast read.
It is. For me, it's a fast read. For you, AJ, you'll have it done like that. So, or you go to the library and borrow it, and you'll have it back long before the checkout date. So, anyway, but that's a good answer, Jason.
So, the talking about being shunned and things like that actually kind of leads into question number 2. What is it about the nerd community that attracts you?
Okay, so I just think that I can be myself more. Like, I don't have to try to impress people. For the most part, you have gatekeepers of every fandom and everything, but for the most part, if you don't understand a fandom and you meet somebody who's really geeked out on it, they're going to explain it to you. They're going to accept that you're a newbie at it, and they're going to like teach you, or, you know, and if you don't like it, they're okay with that. And it's such a great community of people that understand how your mind works a little bit, which is weird when you say it out loud, but because my mind works in a weird way, it's really nice to have people around that understand the references I make, or like the stupid punny things that I say, because I'm not funny. Shpoo will tell you I'm not funny when I'm trying to be. I'm funny when I say stupid punny things. So I think that is a great thing. I know when I first started going to like VisionCon, I was like the invisible girl for years and years, to where people didn't even know I went to VisionCon. Like, I would just be in the background. And even when I started coming out of that, I was still like, people would be introduced to me several times in one day and, oh, it's so nice to meet you. And I would be like, just the invisible girl. I think the nerd community has helped me get out of my shell a little bit while still embracing the fact that I'm an introvert. So
it's definitely okay to be an introvert in the geek community. So
yeah.
No, so I everything she said is right on. I also I've always been one of those people. My personality type is, if somebody is being treated poorly, or if I perceive they're being mistreated, I come to their rescue. I've been that way since age 5, when I remember going to one of my cousins, be his protector against some of the older cousins, and then of course he turned on me because he wanted to be with the cool group. So, but that's okay. I mean, that's just. But so I remember that's part of it's that. So because the geek community was so looked down upon, I have a natural attraction to go there because I want to help, and I want to be a part of people that are not necessarily accepted, that do things differently. I like different. Another part of my personality is that I crave to meet people that are different than I am, and that think differently than I am, and I want to understand them. And so that the geek community has a ton of that, and I get real excited to talk to people and figure out, what are you into? Why are you into it? And I if I can do that at a con, step and talk to people and really engage kind of that deeper, who are you on the core? Not what do you do, but who are you and why does this excite you? That to me makes my day. So we've got the addition of, I've got a community here that accepts me, that is cool with maybe doing these, crazy things, loving comic books, doing D&D or whatever role-playing games, or whatever I'm into, being so into Star Wars that was my whole childhood from age 7 up.
So our generation's men.
Exactly. But some of them had to hide it, because if you were a jock, you could like Star Wars, but you couldn't be into it like I was.
Right.
So that kind of is why we've got several people. Well, we've got several comments here. Jason commented again, and Mandy's got some comments here. So, all right. Yeah, it is celebrated being intelligent and being able to make rational thoughts there in the geek community, because a lot of us are very smart. So some of us act stupid sometimes, but you're very smart, AJ. Mandy says, all right, we don't get it there.
Being a geek
is all about being honest about what you enjoy and not being afraid to demonstrate that affection. It means never having to play it cool about how much you like something.
Yeah.
Basically a license to proudly emote on a somewhat childish level rather than behave like a supposed adult. Being a geek is extremely liberating.
I agree, because I could never cut it trying to act like a normal adult.
Wait, there's a normal thing?
I don't know.
Understand.
Apparently, some people think so. That to me is crazy. I don't know what people. You must be suicidal if you're trying to do that. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you both for commenting in there, Mandy and Jason. We appreciate it.
And speaking of Mandy actually, we have a couple of questions from Mandy, and we're going to spread these out.
Actually, I think.
Kind of sprinkle. Yeah, we've got several actually. We're going to sprinkle them out throughout. But the next two questions are from her, and they're very simple, quick ones. First up, what is your favorite color?
Blue. I mean, red. Whoa!
What is the wind velocity of an?
I like
African
aqua.
or European?
I like aquas, blues, teal, that sort of thing, and greens. So kind of a bluish green is my favorite. Like if I have to pick one, but I like that family of colors a lot.
Okay.
So as much as I am not emo, and as much as I am not, but black is my favorite color. I love black. It looks good on me. It's always been my go-to color. And as a Cowboys
my
fan,
favorite color is?
Blue and silver is great. Black?
No, actually, it's not.
I know his favorite color.
Pink?
Purple.
Royal purple.
Purple, there you go. That's a good color.
Royal purple, specifically royal purple.
Yeah, he does.
See, now here's the interesting thing. The big horror guy is royal purple. The kind of happy-go-lucky guy, it's black.
It's black.
The guy that wears black all the time, all day, every day. Yeah, no, not my favorite color. Mandy also asked, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, an Ankylosaurus.
Care to explain why, or just in general?
Well, my son was really obsessed with dinosaurs. Like he said dinosaur before he said mama. I'm just saying the kid had problems. But I mean, he would say dinosaur, and he knew all the dinosaurs' names, and so I had to learn all the dinosaurs' names to teach him when he was a year and a half old.
Yep.
But the Ankylosaurus has the big ball with the spikes on its tail, but it looks like it would just be a baby, cute little face, but it had to have been fierce because it's got all kinds of protection, and I just like the idea
for a tail. I mean,
I like something that looks like it can be soft on the inside, but it's like hard and very strong on the outside. So
my favorite live action show for many years of my young life was Land of the Lost. So saying that, it's a T-Rex because I like grumpy. Looking in the cave, so that's where I'm coming. Plus the
you're not about to say that your favorite dinosaur is a flea stack, are you?
No. Even though I like flea stacks, I'm not calling them dinosaurs, but especially the golden flea stacks. Those are cool.
All right.
So Anyway, all right.
What are we up to now? Number 5. Okay. All right. If a movie was made about your life, what would the title of the movie be? And bonus question: if you can think of a good response, who would star in it?
That's such a good question. I can't think of who would star in it because I actually used to have this photo album. I called it the movie of me, where I cast all the people in my life. It took me over 3 years to figure out who would play me, and now I have to rethink it, which sucks. But so you can't just say well, people say I look like this guy or I like this actor, so I'm gonna. No, you have to find somebody that actually looks like you, at least kind of, and can pull off your mannerisms. That's the problem, because I've asked you, I've asked Dakota, I've asked all the people who are close to me if there's an actress or that I look like or that reminds you of, and nobody has an answer. I gave you an answer. Who? I think I have a pretty good. I don't know what her name is off the top of my head though. She's on one of the cop shows, the computer girl on the cop show. Oh, Garcia, who played in
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds. Yes. Garcia. Her. Yeah. I think she'd be awesome as you. I have actually heard that a couple of times. The title of my movie is, oh God, let's see. Literally. That's it, for those that don't know, literally is something he says
all the time,
At
literally.
least once per sentence, if not more.
Hey,
Literally, all the time.
but it would incorporate like literature, literally,
Yeah.
and words,
That's true.
and I like that, and yeah, it'd be called literally.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you, Professor?
My crazy geeky life.
It's beautiful.
Or that, or you can just simply call it GeekyKOOL.
You could just call it GeekyKOOL. That's true. I could just call it GeekyKOOL with a K there, and people, yeah, we could go with that. Let's see who would play me. That's a great question. Maybe my younger self would be played by the from Sabrina, the Daring Adventures of Sabrina. The one boy that is her boyfriend at the beginning.
Ross. Like his name is Ross.
Yes, him. So my younger years, my current years, I don't know. I'd like to see Keanu Reeves play me, but you know.
I can see that because he's such a genuine guy, and
he is, and so I think that would make it work.
I can see that.
Yeah, either that or if you. Actually, the person that probably looks the closest to me, and he does have a great sense of humor, is James Corden.
Oh, I do see that.
Yeah, it could be James Corden. I need to lose some weight. I can't be Keanu Reeves. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. like 8 years ago, I dropped like 65 pounds, and I need to get back to that. So because then Keanu Reeves could play me. So, but James Corden's a great person. I think he's funny. He's has a good sense of humor. Cares a lot about people. So that'll work. So all right, we've got a couple of comments.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah. I didn't want to say it. Let's see. In all the Geek TV, which actor do you feel is the most perfect casting for their character? Robert Downey Jr.
Tom Holland.
When they first announced the Iron Man movie was being made, I remember going to a buddy of mine's house and was like, "Dude, you hear they're making an Iron Man movie?" He's like, "Who they got playing it?" I'm like, think about it. Who's perfect casting? Kind of an asshole, rich guy, drunk. He's like, what? Robert Downey Jr.? I'm like, yep.
It really is. Tom Holland's a great selection, but I do agree that Robert Downey Jr. plays himself.
I think both Toms are.
Oh yeah, Tom
Hiddleston is. I love him as Loki. I know Jason and I were talking today at work about that, and we were talking about Benedict Cumberbatch with Doctor Strange. So that's where that inspiration.
There's some really good people playing their roles. I mean, some of them aren't nailed absolutely perfectly, but some of them are like, I can't see anybody else playing this role, and all of those are characters with that. Jason also says Seth MacFarlane would play him, and the title would be "Hold the Hell On." I get that, Jason. Yeah,
I'd watch that. All right.
Number
6, we have multiple choice.
All right.
Ooh.
C.
Okay, so if you were given the opportunity to live the rest of your life in the world that exists within one of the following franchises, which would you choose to live in and why?
Okay.
A, Star Wars. B, Harry Potter. C, Doctor Who. D, either the MCU or the DCEU.
I'm going to surprise you with this one.
All right, surprises.
I would live in the Harry Potter world.
See, that's actually not surprising. Yeah, I think you probably thought I would think that you'd say Doctor Who, but there's the trick: is you don't get to be the Doctor or the companion. You are you in that universe. And in that universe, if you're not one of those two types of people,
then you're not.
You're just you.
In America, so Doctor Who's almost always in England, so I'm never meeting him.
Right.
So there's that. But I think that the Harry Potter world has extended into America now with Fantastic.
Right.
everything. I just like the idea that there's magic everywhere.
Yeah.
And I believe there's magic everywhere. So I feel like, even though I was an adult, I was like, if I was a kid reading Harry Potter, because my kids read Harry Potter, not me as a kid, I would have wanted, that letter from Hogwarts. So.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get the letter. But if you're...
I would have gotten the letter.
Yeah.
There you go. So, assuming that if I'm me and I don't have abilities, then I don't know I want to be in Star Wars because, just because it's out there, if I'm not a Jedi or if I'm not going to be a smuggler, if I'm just the guy that's out there
just because you're not currently one doesn't mean that you couldn't become one in that.
I think I'm a little too old for training.
The first thing I'm doing is like, okay, how do I become a foundling? All right, let's go.
I just don't want to be stuck on some world where I'm, moisture evaporators and all that jazz. I don't want that. So maybe, so I probably would go Star Wars if I had a chance to be a Jedi or get to interact or just be part of the rebellion. Then I probably would go Star Wars. Otherwise, I want to go to the MCU and at least know that there's superheroes out there. Maybe do cameos or something.
See, my problem with the MCU or the DC is the fact that with superheroes, they're super villains, and there's already enough bad people in this world. I don't want super bad people.
Well, at least with super villains, you kind of know who they are coming. So right now, the villains in the world
more interesting.
Pretend. So. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dr. Doom, okay, he's going to try to take over the world, right? So,
makes for good TV.
Yeah. So, if I could, be kind of what I want to be in a universe, I'd go Star Wars. But MCU is pretty darn close. So, in Doctor Who, I would love to travel with the Doctor, but then I'm going to get brain wiped or killed or something, or left 2,000 years in the past. I don't know.
I mean, it's worth it.
If you're a girl most of the time.
Okay. So this next one is a very convoluted way to ask a very simple question. The world's fate is in your hands.
Okay? God help the world.
To save it and all of humanity, you need only to answer one question. Now, this question will not be an easy question, but you do get to decide the topic. So what topic do you know such a ridiculous amount about that you would be comfortable choosing it to potentially save the human race?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Prejudice.
Oh, okay.
I've read the book like 500-600 times.
All right.
Every film adaptation there is.
Yeah.
every
person who's played every role in it if they do movies. But yeah, Pride and Prejudice.
Okay. Well,
yeah, Jason's got a couple comments. So this one goes back to what universe you would be in, and he says the Doctor. And about what do you know that much about 80s rock music trivia? Yeah, see, there you go. And you do, Jason. You know a lot of the trivia. I love the music, and I can tell you a lot, but you know more than I do. So
for me, it'd be like horror movies or Star Wars.
Yeah. Star Wars was up there on my list of potentials there, but I went Spider-Man because I've been reading Spider-Man since 1974.
We'll get back to that here in a minute. All right, kind of switching gears a little bit here. You've got the opportunity to go out and have fun for an evening. Money is not an issue. But you are confined to the limitations of whatever is realistic, what is within realistic driving range for you currently. Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
So I can go anywhere for an evening if it's within driving range? Where do I go?
What is the driving range? Can I drive all day to get to it?
Right, no, I think like it's going out, like you're just going out for the evening. So you're headed out, say like 6, 7 o'clock. You're going to be home by say midnight, 1 o'clock, somewhere in that area. So like 5, 6 hours for a night out on the town. So within driving range. So if you want to drive to Springfield, you can do that. You want to drive. We'll even say if you want to drive to like Kansas City or St. Louis, you can do that. So we'll say like within 3 to 4 hours away from your home currently.
Okay. That helps. I am renting the St. Louis Art Museum for a private viewing and just taking the whole time to just walk through it and actually absorbing it, because every time I've ever gone, I'm gone with children and they like to rush.
Yeah. They don't like to stop and look that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Okay.
Boy.
Look at Larry's like, a hard one.
It is a hard one because I'm trying to think, what can I do for a night? So let me premise it this way, because I know this event is coming up next year, assuming it doesn't get canceled again. So an event in Kansas City coming up has Joan Jett, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Poison all going to be there. I want backstage passes and to hang out with the bands and to talk to all of them.
That's a great.
Thanks.
No, I like that one.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I've seen Motley Crue live. It's hilarious.
I've not seen them live yet. So here's what Jason had to say. He said he'll drive to Arrowhead and rent Arrowhead Foo Fighters to come in and play. All right.
And play drums with
them.
There you go. That's right.
What is the oldest or weirdest thing currently residing in your refrigerator?
I think it's Zool.
Can I go look? Oh.
I know there's a thing of chicken broth that's been in there for a minute. I don't know if that's the oldest thing.
No, it's not the oldest. It's still good.
It's probably there's a random jar of salsa that we don't know whose it is.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
No clue. Because I mean I have like 2 different kinds. Specifically, those are the only 2 kinds that I get. She really doesn't do salsa, like mild, like Taco Bell sauce, maybe.
It wasn't there when you moved in, and then it just appeared there, and we just have it. So,
because if all 3 of us, well, I wrote most of the questions for one, but I'll answer a few of them. But mainly, it's like because there's like 30 questions on here, and if all 3 of us were answering, this would go on for several hours. So that's the biggest.
That's nothing surprising, right? So in my refrigerator, there's some sort of special mustard that I think we've traveled, at least from our old house to the apartment to our new house. I'm assuming it probably actually was in the old house for a good hot few years. What?
Do you use it?
I think it was for something special that we were making, and probably just haven't thrown it out yet. Because as soon as you throw it out,
because
you're gonna need it.
You don't think about the fact that like mustard and ketchup ever go bad. Like I think I've used the same bottle of ketchup it literally just ran out a couple of days ago, and I know for a fact I brought that when I moved in here 2.5 years ago.
See, for my family, there are 6 food groups. The extra 2 are ketchup and chocolate. So we go through the ketchup. So that's not a problem. Ketchup is like, that's like gravy. You just put it on everything.
That's ranch dressing for my dog.
Yeah. All right. Number 10. This is another question from Mandy.
Yeah.
If you could spend 1 hour with anyone, living or dead, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
Oh.
And then I've got one that actually ties into this very similarly for my next one.
1 hour.
So, there's so many historical figures that I would love to pick their brain. And religiously, Jesus would be on the list and some other things there. But if it just completely nerding out, give me Stan Lee for an hour. I'm going Stan Lee. Yeah, and I've actually met him in passing a couple times, and I've seen him speak. And I was going to get something signed by him, and he got ill. And my Amazing Spider-Man number 42 with the full introduction of Mary Jane. I was going to have him sign that, and then he got ill, and I never got a chance to get him to sign it. So I'd bring that with me, but I would love just to kind of chat with him and let him tell stories because he can tell stories. So I would love that.
Dad, I'm going to say Alan Rickman.
That's a good one too.
As one, he could talk to me all day and I would not be bored with his voice.
And at the end of the hour, do you get to push him off the tower?
No. But I think Alan Rickman is who I would choose just because, yeah. I love that.
And just to answer the question too, since Mandy asked and this was her question, I'm not going to go into what we would talk about, but the answer would be my dad.
Oh, there you go. See, that's a good one. Yeah. See, I thought one of my grandfathers or something like that, but yeah, I went geeky. Jason says this. Now, this does not surprise me at all, Jason, that you would say the same thing. I might change
mine to Bob Ross, guys.
Oh, Neil Peart, right on.
Yeah, right. Even though I have to say, I think Rick Allen's a better drummer. Let the war start. And
okay,
he can do it with one arm.
So this next question kind of ties into that one, so that's why I placed it in that particular spot. So if you could travel back in time, only to witness one event, you could. So just to kind of clarify, you cannot interact, you cannot change anything. You are only there as a witness, and it's only one event. What event would you choose and why?
Can the people interact with you?
No, you are only there just to see it happen, like be there as it's happening.
So it's like Ghost of Christmas Past. You can see stuff, but you can't interact with it. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
The Jack the Ripper murders, because I'd want to know who did it.
Oh, there you go.
Good one.
Man, so many great.
I have a very disturbed answer for this one.
More disturbing than Jack the Ripper.
So there you go.
Yep.
Man, what answer there? So many great events to choose from.
You want Shpoo to go? You want
go ahead, Shpoo. Go ahead.
Shpoo, you go. And he's thinking.
Oh man.
9/11. Yeah. I would have been at the World Trade Center during 9/11. In the building.
He just really wants to live through something like that.
I do. I have this sick thing about me that I obsess over big disasters, and I want to live through one. Desperately want to live through one.
He's weird.
So,
I do.
All right. Jason has this to say. Resurrection.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one, Jason. Also considered, birth of Christ or, some of those things. Again, very religious. That would be really fascinating.
I just picture birth of Jesus if you were able to interact and whatever, going back and reading the Bible afterwards, it'd be Mary and Joseph and the three wise men, and then this weird looking guy that had smart clothes.
Mary stood up and yells at Joseph, "Get this thing out of me!"
Just stood over in the corner with this weird smile on his face. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, the star and
Take your cell phone and record.
So yeah, okay. So let's go another weird one here because I was always fascinated by this one. The assassination of Julius Caesar.
That's a good.
Okay.
And two Brute.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. I've always
That's
thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
There's so many. I'm such a history buff. There's so many to choose from. Like I would love to be like Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But I was like, no, I would want to know who was Jack the Ripper.
No, that's a really good thing to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to bring the knowledge back. That's good. Unsolved mystery solved.
Yes.
I was there.
I was there.
Of course, you could come back and be like, it was blah, 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 blah. And they'd be like, oh, that's a good theory. No. For real. I saw it.
Right.
Oh, see, that's why you take your cell phone and you record.
Okay. Ray asks, what are your favorite geeky holiday movies or holiday TV episodes? Since Halloween's over, we are officially in the Christmas season.
Oh God!
Screw Halloween or screw Thanksgiving. Or Halloween too, for that matter.
National Lampoon Christmas. I love that one.
Yeah.
It's just one of those ones that just make you laugh. My favorite Christmas movie of all time is It Happened on Fifth Avenue, which is a movie that most people don't even know exists. But yeah, no, those two.
What if it's geeky in nature?
It's geeky in nature. I mean, what? Like I can geek out on.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying for me. I was trying to clarify for me, but I'm not saying yours were.
GeekyKOOL. This isn't necessarily doesn't have to be geeky.
Star Wars Christmas special.
Well, and that's actually what Jason just said. I knew
somebody would say it.
That's a lot.
As much as I want to like
nobody's favorite.
The 20 minutes of Boba Fett cartoon, you got me.
Yeah.
The rest of it, with them singing and it just, oh my gosh, and then the grandpa watching.
I mean, you get to watch an elderly Wookiee watch porn for 20 minutes. I mean,
I don't know.
What's not to love?
And I have to watch it every year because it's.
Special they did.
Oh yeah.
Here on Disney Plus wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It was good. Fun. And actually, I'm looking forward to the Guardians of the Galaxy one. That sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to say there's there's a couple Doctor Who episodes.
Yes.
There's the Christmas Invasion one that is so amazing. And then there was the one just a couple of years ago where Santa Claus shows up, but does he really? And I love the Santa Claus episode. I thought that was just great. So there is a supernatural Christmas one that's just amazing. And I forget what the names of all of those are. I remember that. Let's see. What else? The Batman the Animated Series Christmas with Joker.
Oh yeah, that was actually the first episode with Joker and Harley Quinn. Chronologically, it didn't air first, but that was the first one that he made. As for me, my favorite holiday movie is, of course, the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard.
Yeah.
No, it's my tradition that I watch it every year on Christmas Eve.
I mean, if you're going to go with that, like Gremlins has got to be.
Well, I was going to say, they can go with Gremlins also. That's it.
Batman Returns.
But the last couple Christmases, we watched Die Hard and then Gremlins.
Yeah. Well, and my son's not quite at the level that he can handle Die Hard quite yet, but he's getting there. He actually might be for this year if my wife will let him watch it. But I did show him Gremlins because, again, it's PG. So, but he's like, why did you show this to me? Because it's a Christmas movie. You love Christmas movies. Not that kind of Christmas movie.
Oh,
it's a Christmas movie.
Lex loves it.
She does.
Begs us to watch.
I kind of fooled him to watching it with me because he would listen to Christmas music year round if he could. I mean, he's that kid. Well, actually, this year he now listens to a lot of stuff like video game music or something. I don't know. And not even good video game music. Anyway, but before, I mean, if it was, I'd be like, you cannot listen to Christmas music where we can hear it until after Thanksgiving, and then it has to end New Year's Eve. You have to be done with it because
I'm
so tired.
The evening of December 25th. It's over.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. I made it a little more liberal with that, and he would sneak Christmas music at times. I'm like, it's April. What are you doing listening to Christmas music? I don't know. He just loves it. So I took him on that. And he was watching all these Christmas movies with his mom, Hallmark or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I've got a Christmas movie. I think you might like it. Like, why did you show this to me? Because these are the fun Christmas movies.
I agree with you.
So, I don't know.
All right.
You're trying.
Are we prepared to throw up a little nostalgia?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's go nostalgic.
Okay.
I'm always nostalgic.
You are currently between the ages of 6 and 10. Describe Saturday morning for me.
Ooh.
So
from like the time you get up to like noonish.
I get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning because I want to be the first one up, and my sister would always sleep a little later, and that way I could get the good spot on the rug in front of the TV, and I could turn on the first cartoons, and I could also get my bowl and my cereal and my little thing of milk and set it next to me so I didn't have to move unless I had to pee. Like, that's the only time I was going to move. Mm-hmm. So I could watch a couple cartoons before she got up, and then my mom made me share, and we had to like do, every other half hour we chose, and it was always she wanted to watch what I didn't want to watch, stuff like that.
I understand.
Then so we go back and forth watching things like Spider-Man, and then the Smurfs, and then the Snorks, and then the I don't know, all kinds of things. And then my mom would tell us our cousins were over, because our cousins came over every weekend. And my sister would go outside and play, and I'd watch wrestling.
Wow, wrestling! I didn't have wrestling available.
Saturday mornings.
I didn't have it
come on until like late in the afternoon for us. It was and it was Memphis.
It was yeah. Well, we got the Texas, and then we also got Memphis, but it would come on at like 11:30, and that's when my cousins would arrive. And so I would have the living room TV, the big giant TV all to myself. Not
big giant 24-inch console TV.
Right. No, mine was 19.
We lived like 45 minutes away from Memphis, so Jerry Lawler was in like every commercial.
Love that. All right, describe yours, Professor.
Okay, so and I lived more northwest, so we had stations from Springfield we could get in. We had Joplin stations, and we had a Pittsburgh station we could get in. So you could go out, turn the antenna.
Oh,
yeah. So we had the vice grips that had rusted to the pole to turn, and that was my job, was to turn it, because I was the oldest and the only guy. So I would also get up usually early, by 7:30, if not by 7, because Super Friends came on at early. It was like 7:30 it would come on. Yep. So you had to get up in time to watch Super Friends. And then Land of the Lost would come on. And then, you would have Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner, and you'd have all these other ones.
Children's Hour.
Well, that at the end, that's how it always ended. But you'd get the big bowl, and that you'd pour the Fruity Pebbles in, or whatever sugar cereal you want, but mine was usually Fruity Pebbles. And you pour the milk in, and you would flood it, and you would sit there and eat, and then you would eventually drink the milk from it as you're watching. And then you didn't get up at commercial time. No. One, because they had toys that you may want, and two, because you could catch the Schoolhouse Rock in between.
I love the Schoolhouse Rock.
And so I did too. And hopefully Conjunction Junction, or I'm Just a Bill, or Lolly Lolly, Get Your Adverbs Here. One of those would come on that were always my favorites. And then, they're like, oh yeah. And then, you would end the day in the morning with Children's Hour, where I would dream that I would be on the show and get the key, and then you could go in and unlock the castle and get all the toys. Right.
I loved Aunt Norma. I was in the station one time as a kid, but of course it wasn't anything special. I didn't have a birthday, so she didn't call me out, and then I didn't get a key, but I got to see the kid get a key and get all the toys.
He actually opened it?
Yes.
I don't think I ever saw a kid open it. Oh my gosh. So that's amazing. Yeah, because that was always the dream, right?
Yes.
Right.
And how many keys were there? There were like at least 20 keys.
There was all. Yeah, it was you. I think there were 10, but they were like you got to choose, and if you opened it, I think I saw it open like 4 times my entire childhood, and one live. So
there you go. I never got to go live. Always wanted to go live on there, but we lived far enough away, and my parents didn't have gas money, and so
What show was that you're talking about?
Children's Hour. It was a
out of Springfield. This woman named Aunt Norma would run it, and she would play like Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff. And then she would tell stories in between, and she had puppets, so it was very much like Mr. Rogers, but show. And she had this giant castle that had a key, and if you unlocked it, if you were one of the kids that were chosen, like a lot of the times, I think there were 3 kids chosen, and
I thought it was one boy, one girl got chosen, or something.
That's what it was. And they got to try to unlock the castle, and if they unlocked it, inside the castle were like a bunch of toys that they got.
Like
this. Yeah, we didn't have anything like that. So for us, it was just like we'd get up at like 5 a.m, which is insane because it's like throughout the school week and stuff, we complain about having to get up early to go to school.
Right.
So we get up even earlier on Saturdays, and it was my sister and I. We get up, get our cereal and get our spot on the couch. Usually, like cover up with a blanket and whatever, and just sit there and stay warm because it's always cold in the house. And cartoons would start, and for the most part, we both liked the same stuff. So we would we just had like a flow of like, this is the order that we watch things in. And of course, you had 3 channels to choose for, actually 2 channels, because one of them didn't show cartoons.
Yeah.
Or they would for like the first hour or something like that. But like the rest of the time, it was CBS and NBC, and that was it. ABC or one of them didn't show cartoons. And then
they used to all show them. See, all 3 of them used to have it all day long. But
right. Yeah, up until about noonish, and then it would switch over. They would do like the Saturday afternoon movie or something like that, and it would be like this kid-friendly kind of after-school special type of movie sort of thing. But then we would sometimes watch that or whatever, but then we'd go do our own thing. But most of the time we spent almost every weekend at my grandma's house with my 2 cousins. So it was me and 3 girls, and so then the rest of the day would just become chaos. But
play
house with us. Here's our dolls.
They never were really into that, but yeah, it was a lot of weekends. Like I could not see the movie Grease or Girls Just Want to Have Fun for years. Because we would just watch those 2 movies on a loop every weekend. And then they moved into like New Kids on the Block, watching their little live video concert or whatever. And
you weren't hanging tough with that?
Yeah.
So for me, with my sister, so we had the big color TV, the 19-incher.
Yep.
And then the little 13-inch black and white that you had to turn the little in.
The rabbit ears?
Yes. So we would do that, and we would take turns that every half an hour you got to pick what was going to be on the color television. And so you could try to be strategic on when you want it, because I really want to watch this show in color and I want to do this. And so you'd have to rotate that around. But I'm like, I don't want to watch Smurfs. And I'm like, and then if my sister started watching the Smurfs, it was like an hour or 2. I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be half an hour because we're supposed to rotate. Nope, my show. I'm watching the whole show. Oh yeah, of course you are. So that was another part of it. But then usually I had to get called out to go do farm work, especially as I got a little bit older. But early on, it was just spending all morning long.
In front of that
my parents would sleep in. I would veg in front of the TV and eat my sugar cereal.
Yep.
And then we'd have things we'd have to do in the afternoon, especially around the farm. And so there's that.
Oh, so you had to go and change the channel.
What's a remote? That was called the kids, right?
Yes.
We would have. So even if we didn't spend the weekend at my grandma's, we would always end up there Saturday afternoon at least, and then we'd spend the rest of the day there. Then Saturday evening, it'd be like my grandparents, my parents, me, my 3 cousins, my aunt and uncle, like a whole bunch of us get together. We'd have this huge dinner. Usually it was my grandmother's fried chicken that I can still taste to this day. And And then on the TV, they'd have Hee Haw playing.
Oh, yeah.
And my grandpa would watch Scooby-Doo all day, which is one of the reasons why I hate Scooby-Doo now. Yeah.
Professor's like,
I do. I Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes. That's all he would watch all day. And I mean all day. And it used to be like, the girls are off doing their thing. I'm by myself. Can we watch literally anything else? Nope. We're watching. And he's not even watching it. It's just on. But yeah. I digress.
My family, because I live with my grandma and my mom and my dad, and we lived really close to my aunts and uncles all lived up the road. So like on Saturday or Sunday nights, they would all come down and the grown-ups would play poker.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like their thing. Like they would all be like at the dining room table playing poker. Yeah. My grandmother, she had this bag of candy, like Brock's candy, like the little chocolate covered flavors, like different flavors. And she would buy like 2-3 pounds of this candy and put it in the bag like every week. And she'd be like, hey kids, bring me the candy bag. And she'd give everybody a piece. And then we'd take it and we'd like go into my grandmother's bedroom and set like between the wall and the bed. And one of the cousins, usually the youngest, my cousin Matthew, would have to be the lookout.
Make the youngest one do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I didn't have a lot of that. When we'd go to my grandmother's house on my mom's side, I had all the cousins over on that side. So if we went there, especially on a Friday night, sometimes we'd go up on a Saturday, but we didn't go real often because it was like an hour and a half away. So we would go. But when we were there, there was just total chaos because, again, my mom had 7 sisters and 1 brother. And she was third from the youngest. So all these cousins already there. So yeah. So we would have all sorts of chaos. Did spend a lot of time working on Saturdays then. Jason had this to say because his experience sounds like a lot of the work part there. Yeah, I live in the country too.
I only had 2 channels, and we had to go turn the antenna for NBC, which was channel 3 or channel 10. Like it was so I lived in a valley.
And Mandy says this.
Footy pajamas, watching He-Man, She-Ra, G.I. Joe, and My Little Pony. I love you, Mandy. I love that.
It's a good balance there.
It is.
All right.
Okay. So let's see. If you could choose one TV show from the 70s or 80s to be brought back in any way, so whether it be revival, movie, just complete rehash, dark reimagining, whatever, what TV show would you choose? And how would you want it seen?
Oh, that's a hard question.
So there was a TV show that lasted.
You know my answer.
Like 5 episodes that I adored. I would have said Battlestar Galactica, but that's been remade, and the remake was good.
Right.
But there's a show called Wizards and Warriors.
Oh yes.
And that only lasted like 5 episodes. And now that I've gone back and seen some of the episodes on YouTube, it's corny as all get out. And I didn't get to watch them all because, again, if you missed an episode because of whatever, you missed the episode. You didn't get to tape it. But I think it's a really cool premise, and I think today it would make a really good television series. You could kind of go with it. You want to make it as quite as corny, but you could make it a really cool fantasy, but not too serious of a fantasy drama, and have a lot of fun with it.
Shpoo, you give your answer because I'm thinking still.
Oh, mine's easy. Quantum Leap.
Oh, there you go.
And I was gonna say that, but I knew you would say that. But...
I mean, that's late 80s, but
right. No, that's a good answer.
It needs to come back. It definitely needs to come back.
It should come back
in any way. I don't even care how.
No, but it should come back with Sam and Al's daughters, and Sam's daughters trying to find him.
That idea comes up every couple of years, like even as recently as this, like last November, I think, actually about a year ago, where Scott Bakula himself was even talking about it. We talked about this in an episode of the show once. where I would actually personally, especially after they did the Scooby-Doo crossover with Supernatural, I want to see a live-action Scooby-Doo series that's done in the style of Supernatural.
Oh,
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But you hate Scooby.
I hate the cartoon. And I'm not really a fan of the movies either, but if it was done in that style, I think I'd like it.
So I want to throw in another answer for mine that now that I thought about it. And they actually made a movie of it, and it was horrible. Because I was just thinking...
Land of the Lost?
Yes. Yes, Land of the Lost. They need to make it seriously. When you said in any form, I'm like, yeah, you don't want it like Land of the Lost where they play it up for, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want it to be serious. A serious Land of the Lost series, because the original series had such great concepts. The closed universe.
Shocked that like Netflix hasn't done that yet. I mean, they got lots of space.
Yeah, which has been great.
I seriously don't know. Like, yeah, I am at a loss. Because,
I mean, think about you've been watching like the Punky Brewster revival and stuff.
Yeah.
Any sitcoms or anything that needs another revival that they haven't done yet?
No, the revivals are terrible. I will watch them for nostalgia purposes, but they're so not good.
I'm actually watching.
I watched Punky Brewster. I watched Saved by the Bell. I've watched all of them. Listen, and I will watch them because they're nostalgia and I like that, but they're not done well. And so I'm just, I think that's my problem is I've watched enough of these that I don't know if I would like them.
And sometimes it's, you think they were better originally, but then you go back and they're anyway. Yeah. But I've been watching the Mad About You.
I love that.
That
was actually really good. Yeah,
that one was good.
So
I really like the Mad About You. I suggested that to
you did, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm not finished with it yet, but I've enjoyed it. So we got some things from Andy and Jason. All right. You just want Heath Ledger back. We know what it is.
I can't find that either.
The Pretender.
The Pretender was in the 90s.
Oh, that was a good show.
But Jason and I was talking about this today at work, and The Pretender would be a good one to bring back because of how open-ended it was. It would still work.
Yeah.
The concept would still work.
And there's several 90s shows I would love to bring back that they didn't give a chance to. Briscoe County Jr., Space Above and Beyond.
They keep talking about that one like it's going to happen. I don't know.
Name of that?
I believe I want to see it, but
there was I can't think of the name of it, but it was a time traveling show where this guy took this kid time traveling, and there was a watch. Voyagers.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Maybe
Voyagers.
Yeah.
But it was like one season and it was over.
Right.
But I really liked it. I think it could be done really well. He travels to different like historical things, that sort of thing.
Sliders was good. The original Sliders. Mandy also says it's on Amazon. So there you go. It's on Amazon. And Jason did add one good one here also. Another good one, I should say. The Modern Welcome Back Cotta.
I mean, that could
another. How about WKRP in Cincinnati?
Yeah, there you go.
They could.
Right now, that radio stations are kind of on the way out. Maybe see where they're at these days.
Couldn't be made today.
Well, the music would cost them a fortune.
Oh God.
Yeah, true.
So, all right.
Okay, you are stuck in a time loop, a la Groundhog's Day.
Okay. How
far into depravity would you go before you truly buckle down and start looking for a way to break the loop?
Have you seen the Stargate SG-1 time loop episode?
No.
Oh, are you guys not SG-1 fans?
I'm not a Stargate fan in general.
The Stargate SG-1, I love it. Anyway, there's a whole episode where everything they're doing is futile. It's just two people that realize, two of the four main ones know about this time loop. So they start doing things like turning on the gate just to be able to hit golf balls through it. They're doing all sorts of crazy things. They'll start a war because they know it's just going to reset the next day. So I wouldn't do anything horrible, but I would have some fun. Once I realized I can't do anything about this, I'm like, okay, have fun with this.
Here's my thing is I wouldn't, because in my head I would be like, the minute I did something that depraved,
that's when the loop's going to stop.
And I would be stuck with that thought. Like I would not, I would like that guilt that I did something really bad. I think if I was stuck in a time loop, I would just try to help as many people as possible and try to figure out how to do as much good. And then I'd read as much as possible. And
the problem with helping people is that then it gets reset and they're not helped again.
I know.
You have to help them over and over and over again.
Yeah, right. I don't. You can only buy the insurance from the one guy so many times.
Yeah.
But eventually the loop is going to break. It always breaks.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm going all in.
I know.
I'm streaking somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing.
I would be so afraid that it would be the one time that was what would break the loop, is me doing something terrible.
Maybe that's what it needs. I don't know.
I don't do terrible things.
Oh, here's an interesting Jason put this up for a show redo here. This is a really good one.
No.
Because you're going to make it after all. Throw your hat and everything.
No, I'm not nearly as ambitious as Mary Tyler Moore was.
Fun fact, that hat is still up there.
Really?
To this day.
That is a fun fact.
Hanging in midair.
Jason, depends on how much fun he's having.
Yeah. It really does.
What?
On the Groundhog Day question, he's like, it depends on how much fun he's having.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going all in.
Yeah.
So obviously at this point, there's been a ton of comic book movies made. Out of all of them, what do you think is the most accurately depicted from the source material?
Oh, wow. Watchmen?
Except for the ending, yeah.
Yeah, except for the ending, right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Sin City.
Sin City? Sin City's a
City
good
was
pick, yeah.
really close.
They actually used the comic books as the storyboard.
Right.
And it was like 6 issues or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like the problem is most comic book movies don't go by the comic books.
Yeah, not at all.
So that's a hard one. I would,
for example, see literally any Batman movie.
Right. What do you mean? Batman and Robin's a perfect movie. What are you talking about? Or Batman Forever has the perfect Riddler.
Don't you say you?
You know I'm joking.
Spider words.
You know I'm joking.
Oh, Jason says Deadpool.
I totally meant to throw on my Riddler hat since I'm asking questions anyway. But
that would be awesome. Yeah.
I forgot about it. Well, hang on. I'll grab it now.
No, I agree with you though. Like
Jason did say 300 is pretty close, and it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
I feel like the ones that aren't mainstream, are a lot easier to be close to of them. But if it's a mainstream comic, they tend to not go by the comic book as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Riddle me this.
This is my new one too, by the way. I literally just put the question mark on here on Saturday.
That is nice. I like it.
I bought it.
I saw you in the hat. I didn't know it was new though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I bought it for him last
year. Yeah, my old one has seen better days.
Sure. Well, I've got a roller hat also. I love. So yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, where are we at here? So this is one I think Mandy also asked this one. But what is one popular fandom that you just simply cannot stand? Now, I actually wrote this in my notes here. I did say fandom, meaning the franchise that the fandom is founded upon. But if you would like to say which fandom itself you hate, that's fine too.
That I hate?
I don't know. I hate any of them. There's some that I'm not into.
Like, just it doesn't mean the fandom itself. Just like what is a thing that's like insanely popular that you just absolutely can't stand? We actually did a whole episode on this not too long ago.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, there are things that I just don't like. I don't get into as much as other people.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it's anything that I can't stand.
I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I'm not. I've told people this. I kind of lose my geek cred with this one. I'm not a Sherlock fan.
I love.
I know. Everybody does, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not my thing as much. Even though I would think I would be really into it, I'm not. But I don't hate it, and I don't hate the fandom.
Right.
I just it hasn't clicked with me the same as it does for other people.
I think like an overall is, and I'm trying it again, is Supernatural for me.
Oh yeah.
Because I liked the first 2 seasons, or well, the second and third season. The first season's like was a little slow.
It is, but it introduces some really great characters.
But then like the later seasons, it got like really repetitive.
Very repetitive at times.
But I am trying it because my fiance is having me try to watch that while he's trying to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, yes, yeah, and I knew that Shpoo wasn't a big Doctor Who guy.
No.
So
but
not at all.
2 episodes. We started with Chris, and we're moving through.
There you go. Well, I know at one point we made a list of episodes that you should watch. So
yeah, and we were going to do that, but he's
decided. It's too hot for the hair.
He decided to do it in.
It's too hot. My head's already sweating. I don't know if you can see that.
No.
Jason has these things to say. He's not a fan of Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter.
I like Harry Potter a lot too. So, and as I suspected, I have to turn to my geek card.
Shpoo hasn't even watched.
I've never seen it. Never seen a single episode.
So when you go to watch it, realize like every episode is like a mini movie.
Yes.
Because it's like an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm expecting the thing to be
that's
over.
why it takes like 3-4 years for a new season to come out.
Yeah, right. So that was the thing that had me, because I expected the thing to be done in half an hour to 45 minutes.
Hour and 25 to hour and 45 minutes each.
So that was my problem. My expectations were.
There's only like 4 episodes per season.
I know.
Well, that's just British television for you.
Yeah.
Which is what Jason just said too. So.
Yeah.
I know that. I like some British television. I don't dislike it. I just I
wish America would stop making American version of British shows. If you haven't seen the CBS show Ghosts,
it's not a bad show, but if you compare
it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No,
but
you compare it to
the British version 1,000 times better.
Which is usually true.
There was a British version. I put that on one of my Facebook statuses, and everybody's like, "Wait, there's a British version?" I was like, "Yes, it's got 3 seasons. It's amazing."
Yeah. See, we were the other way around, where we were like, "Oh my God, they made an American version of Ghosts."
Yeah.
This looks terrible. Let's watch the first. Well, we'll give it 2 episodes, and then we'll go from there. And after 2 episodes, I was like,
"We watched 4."
Yeah, we watched the 4 that were out, because it was like, well, the first episode was like beat for beat, just a complete rip off of the other episode, and the other episode was better. Second episode was still more of the same, so we're like, okay, after the second episode, now they can actually like do original stories because they've got a different set of ghosts.
Started a little bit.
So it.
We'll watch the whole thing though. It's just because how we are.
Yeah, because what else are we gonna do? Where are we at here? Let's see. What was the last question I had? Okay, yeah.
FaceTime. Inspector Spacetime from Community. We're watching Community. We're rewatching Community, so that's funny.
Yes, that's funny. That's very funny. If you could go back to any age or any specific day of your life, keeping all of the knowledge that you have amassed over the years,
Ooh.
relive your life from that point, would you do it? If so, when would you go to? And would you be afraid that changing events would change your future for the worse?
So I'm a gambler by nature, so I'm willing to take the chance.
See, I wouldn't do it because I know I would just screw it up.
You could have met your beautiful fiance way earlier.
And not have to put up with the other crap. So see, there you go.
But then I would have screwed it up.
I go back to 1985, the summer of 1985.
Why?
Okay. Because that was the first point that girls got interested in me, and you know, it was
knowing what I know now.
Exactly, knowing what I know now.
Oh my God.
I don't. You know, nothing different probably would change with that, but I don't know. It would be fun. I would, but I would make some better choices than I did for sure, and do some other things. So maybe study a little harder or something to get a scholarship, or I don't know.
My thing with it, and I've been asked this before, just a lot of the times because of the trauma that I went through in my life with like exes and family and stuff. But I always come back to the same thought, and that is I wouldn't be me without those moments. And I am now getting to a place in my life where I actually don't hate myself. So I think that I like who I am enough that I wouldn't go back.
So here's my thought. And by the way, Mandy agrees with you. She said almost exactly what you did there. So,
yep.
And we've got Jason's response here in a moment. But here's my thought. So if I'm at a place now and it's going to allow me to time travel, I can get back there again. So if I mess it up, I can redo it again.
But you can. What if you can only do it once?
I'd still take a chance. Just because.
No, the question says you go back to that age and you live your life from that day.
Right, I know. But if today I get the opportunity to time travel, after I'm done living in it,
and when you come to this day again, you can just go back.
Do it again.
What if you die before then? This new timeline of yours, you could die.
I actually make smarter choices so I know not to die. I mean, there were things that should have killed me in my teens.
Smarter choices, you could actually put yourself in a position where you get into a terrible car accident and you're killed in the car.
It's true. I'm willing to take the chance just because.
I mean,
if at my age now, you know, my life going forward in my life's good. I'm not upset at my life. But man, if I could go back, have the body I did at 15, knowing what I know now, just because, you know, I would live, you know, even through my 20s, I'm much healthier. My body doesn't ache as much. Crud. Yeah. If I die 20 years into that, okay, I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. I don't know. And you asked the question, and I really am. My wife would not do it for anything in the world. She would be under the same mentality. She doesn't want to change anything. And I do like who I am, and I do know my choices all figure in that. But I do kind of like the if thing.
There are things in my life that if I could magically make them go away, I would really like to. Yeah. But at the same time, they literally have made me who I am. So I don't know if I would. So it's just one of those things, like that trauma that you go through and the things that hurt you, it kind of makes you change every time. So yeah.
Jason is to say.
I would go
to the day I decided to turn down a scholarship to an Ivy school for chemistry to become a journalist, and then told them what a hard slog life has been since that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to skip a couple of questions here just for time constraints.
All right.
But this is another question from Mandy, and I'm actually going to throw this question out there, and I'm going to help everybody out. Okay, because this is a question that you hear a lot of times, and there is actually a correct answer to this question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? So the age-old thing is like people want to argue over I would fly, I'd be invisible. Those tend to be like the two most popular. No. There is a correct answer to this question. The superpower that I would have would be the ability to alter reality to my will. I now have every superpower if I want them. And guess what? So do you, because I want you to have them.
So you're Ultron with the 6 stones.
Yeah.
You can alter reality all you want. Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's you're God, essentially, at that point. Thanos shows up with the Infinity Gauntlet and be like, oh, guess what? You don't have that anymore. I do. Thank you. Bye. Literally, if you can imagine it, you can do it.
Right.
Done.
Well, beyond God level powers.
Yeah.
So.
What power?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to think what it would be. I mean, because I'm always kind of stumped by that one because there's so many good ones to have. Yeah. And if you could only have one, what would, I mean, you know, beyond the God level powers, I mean, because Molecule Man's a really cool character as far as what he can do, because what he can imagine he can create. But again, that's God level powers. I think I would really like telekinesis.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Can you lift yourself with telekinesis?
Yes. Jean Grey can.
Yeah.
True. So you can fly. I don't know. And it's the weirdest question because I've actually been asked this in like interviews for jobs. And they're like, what superpower would you have if you could have any superpower? And I'm just like, I wouldn't. And people are like, what? No, that's not an answer. And I'm like, but it is because, and I have said this, and I've said this like even this week, that I am not the star of my show. I'm not the star of my life. I am a side character, which means I'm the best friend of whoever has the superpower. So I think that if I had a superpower, I'd give it to somebody who would wield it in a way more beneficial way for the world than I would. Because I don't think I have that in me.
But if you're forced to have one,
no.
If you're Peter Parker, you're getting bit by something that's giving it to you, and you don't really have a choice but to have a power.
But I get to choose my power?
Yeah. Because some of the best starring characters are the ones that don't want to be. The reluctant hero.
I wouldn't want to be.
I know, which that makes you interesting because I still want the limelight. It's about me, baby. We can team up. I will take all the credit, and you can be behind me. But you get a power too.
I think I don't know. To teleport then.
Teleport's a really good one. I did consider that one also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can travel without having to pay.
Right. Especially if you can teleport massively. I mean, not just like the Nightcrawler small teleports, but if you can massively teleport to the other side of the world or whatever, that's a really awesome power.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason says, been a fun show. Thanks, Jason. We appreciate that. We're having a good time with it. And he says he would want to be able to read minds. So I read people really well anyway.
God, I wouldn't want to read minds.
So because
we already have those powers.
I know what people are thinking a lot of times, and I usually just keep it to myself. But
I think all three of us have that power already. So
but that's a good one. I mean, that way you'd really know, and you can tell when someone's lying absolutely for sure. Can you imagine being a journalist and being able to read someone's mind and knowing exactly the line of crap that they're giving you?
Listen, I live it every day.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, you're reading people because you know it, but
yes.
No.
When people are like, this is how I would do. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, for the most part, most of the people I interview are really cool. So.
Shpoo's considering going.
I know.
No, I'm looking ahead, and I'm like, I was gonna try to figure out which questions I can skip over just for time constraints. But
question.
Let's see. Tomorrow morning. Let's see. Oh, wait, that's not what the one I wanted to read. Never mind.
Tomorrow morning.
You wake up
as the opposite gender.
Ooh.
Okay, I started it, so I'll finish it. So tomorrow morning, you wake up to the sound of sirens and screaming in the streets. It's 2020 all over again. No. I'm sorry. It's the zombie apocalypse. Suddenly, zombies are starting to pound on your doors and your windows, trying to get inside. What do?
I wake up my fiance because he has a plan for this. Like, he knows exactly what he wants to do, and this has been his dream forever. So I let him deal with it, and I try to not die.
After I finish jumping up and down for glee and joy,
and then he gets bit right away.
I do have a full-on plan. I know where I'm going. I know how to get there. And if you wish to stay alive, come find me.
If you want to live, come with me.
Yes.
Come with me if you want to live. So at one point in time or another, we've all been asked if you could only eat one food the rest of your life, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to take that concept one step further.
All right.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, but that food had to be a certain type of breakfast cereal, what breakfast cereal would you eat for the rest of your life?
Assuming it's not going to make me fat, because this is the only thing I can eat, right?
Right.
Okay, so we won't make me fat, so I don't have to pick something like really disgusting.
I mean, I don't know how it's gonna. I mean, it'll. If you choose any food, most people tacos, steak, whatever. But I mean, it'll react however it reacts. But the thing is, you can only choose this one. This is the only thing you're eating forever.
Do I get milk with it?
Yeah. I mean,
okay, but that changes.
That's valid question. Valid question.
Yeah, it's a dry cereal. That changes your decision.
It does. That's true. So I get my big bowl of Fruity Pebbles, and I watch Saturday morning cartoons. I'm good to go.
I don't want to be boring, but I feel like I'm going to be boring.
Grape nuts.
It's probably going to be Raisin Bran, and I know that sounds weird, but it's the only one that doesn't bring my sugar up. And if it's the only thing I'm eating,
you like what you like.
No, it's the only thing I'm eating for the rest of my life.
Okay, let's say your health is fine, and then it's not going to affect your sugar. Like this is your choice.
Okay.
For what you want.
So it's not going to make you fat, and it's not going to up your sugar.
Affect my health. Okay, that changes things.
Yeah. Much better than Raisin Bran.
This is all about. This is the only thing I'm eating forever. You gotta eat something you want.
The only problem is I will get bored quickly of it.
Yeah,
even stuff I love.
Regardless, what?
Lucky Charms, because
there you go. They're magically delicious.
Marshmallows out and make it just marshmallows. I can mix them together, or I can it's got to be something that has different things in it.
That's I mean, if you had a lifetime supply of Lucky Charms, I mean, you could use that like currency. I mean, people love some Lucky Charms.
They do.
See, I'll pass the Lucky Charms to go for the Fruity Pebbles. So,
right.
Jason says it's Cookie Crisp.
I like Cookie Crisp too, but I think that it would be just at one point you would just be like, "Oh, cookies are bad."
Right.
I feel like
you're gonna get sick of it regardless of what.
But I feel like if you had something like Lucky Charms or something that had marshmallows or something in it, you could take all the marshmallows out and it would taste like a kind of different cereal every time. Does that make sense?
True. You've got options.
You could variety it. I don't know.
Okay. Are we ready for the rapid fire questions?
We're ready.
Okay, so we can do this a couple of different ways. Either I can ask you one, then you one. I can ask the question, and then you can just both blurt out the answer, and then we can elaborate. Or how do you want to do this?
I've
got
a question, and we'll just blurt out the answer.
Right.
But we'll take.
I have 10 of these.
Okay,
right.
We'll take turns.
You're gonna blurt out the answer, and then afterwards we can specify who said what.
Okay, I'll go first, but I'm just me and him are planning this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're both gonna just say it at the same time.
No.
Right?
He's gonna say it, then I'll say it. So.
Then he'll say it.
You're gonna say it. Okay,
we're gonna rotate.
Okay. Yeah. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Kirk or Picard?
Picard.
Kirk.
Doctor Who or Lord of the Rings?
Doctor Who.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Heads or tails?
What?
Tails. Always tails.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Marvel or DC?
Movies or comics?
Marvel.
Marvel.
I don't know why I put Doctor Who or Lord of the Rings twice. So let me change that. Hang on, give me 1 second to think here. Oh, I know it. No, I know what this was supposed to. It was supposed to say Doctor Who or Harry Potter.
Ooh, Doctor Who.
Theater or streaming?
Theater.
Did you say one, AJ?
Theater.
Theater. Cat or dog?
Dog.
I have a cat, but I'm gonna go dog also. I love both.
Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
I was waiting to see if either of you would say neither.
And listen, you told us we had to choose.
And last but not least, here's your curveball I promised you. Doctor Who or Good Omens?
Oh, Doctor Who.
AJ?
That's hard for
Good
Omens.
Wow, there you go. Red pill or blue pill?
Oh, I should have asked that one. I was trying to think. I almost asked like regular or unleaded. But
nobody knows what that means anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so we were down to the last 3 questions here. So coming, kind of rolling into the end here.
Okay.
Mandy asks, what is something that people assume about you that is totally not true?
That I'm cool.
That is true. You are cool. Capital K, girl.
What he said.
That I went to college.
Oh.
Like a lot of people think I went to college. I did not go to college.
Okay.
There you go.
Look, he's like, we're looking at you, Professor.
You know, a lot because of the geek thing and being geeky cool. A lot of people assume that I don't know sports, but I do know sports. So
You like sports.
I do like sports.
We need a sports writer, Professor.
For Geeky Cool?
No, for the newspaper.
Yeah, I'll give you my salary that I'm making currently, and you can match it. I'm in.
No, that's not happening.
Trying to think of what people assume about me, that I'm scary. I mean, I can be if I want to be. I did work in a haunted house for 25 years, but
No, but people assume that you're very unapproachable.
I'm like, just because like my no expression face is this.
Yeah. Yeah. People are
And I
like,
look like a psycho, evil dude. And you would not believe how many people I've met that are like, dude, before I knew you, I was terrified of you.
the first time I met you, before you came up to me, several other people came up to me and was like, he's going to introduce himself. You're going to meet him. He's really scary.
I am the biggest marshmallow dork in the world.
I'm scarier than you are.
That's possible.
Don't make AJ mad. You wouldn't like her if she's mad.
Don't make me hungry. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. So, and the last 2 questions are kind of simple. People assume that I'm mean and don't care about people because I tend to be very blunt. Right on.
He did answer some of the questions, by the way. He said
That's cool.
Picard.
Oh, right.
Before that, he said Trek, Picard, Who, Tales, and Marvel. So,
all right.
Anyway, all right.
What'd you think of this quiz? Was it a fun quiz?
It was fun. Yeah, I liked it. Had a good time. Let's do it again.
You're creepy with
You were those.
contacts.
I do like the contacts. Yes. What about this? What about this quiz did you enjoy the most?
I actually laughed.
Yeah, it was fun to talk.
Lately, I haven't been like they have me on new medicine that doesn't. I haven't been myself lately, so.
Yeah.
Well, got
So
a chance
in that
to be
adjustment
yourself.
period.
I always like doing things where I get to learn a little something about people, get to share a little bit, and I really like it when it's about me. So since it was half about me, I don't know.
I don't like opening up, but they weren't like too deep of questions, so that was good.
Well, then this is your final question of the evening. Is there anything that you would like to ask me?
I know everything about you.
You can maybe even open this up to whoever's watching. I will not answer what is your real name, so don't ask. Anything else is perfectly on the table.
All right, Francie.
If you were in a stuck in a horror movie, which horror movie do you think you would survive the longest at?
Well, we kind of had this conversation the other day that there's a perfectly logical way to survive almost all of the horror movies except for one.
Yeah.
Don't want to survive Hellraiser, don't open any funky weird puzzle boxes that are supposed to open the gates to hell. Want to survive the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, don't go through the back roads of middle of nowhere Texas, and don't stop for hitchhikers. Want to survive Friday the 13th, don't camp at a place that the locals call Camp Blood. Want to survive Saw, don't be a dick in your real life.
Michael.
What?
Michael, you just don't go to...
Don't go to Haddonfield on Halloween night. Candyman, don't look in a mirror and say his name 5 times. There's literally ways to survive all of them except Freddy, because you're gonna sleep at some point.
Just don't live on.
Sorry, game over. If I had to pick one to actually go to and live through and whatever.
Live in the woods.
Live through horrific events. Which one would you want to live through?
Cloverfield. Or any zombie movie.
Cloverfield's a fun answer.
I'm going with Cloverfield.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Monster attack, dream come true.
Kaiju.
And I would be that dude running out there with the camera being like, where is it?
The shaky camera
over there. Okay, let's go.
Oh, he would too.
Oh, yeah.
You have a question for Shpoo?
If a train leaves Boston going 50 miles an hour.
Did you say if a tree leaves Boston?
Yeah, if a tree. On a train.
If a tree leaves Boston and going 60 miles an hour, but no one's there to hear it. What time is it in New Jersey?
Does it make the man wrong still?
Is the cat dead or alive?
The cat, both.
Both, or neither.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't think there was a cat. Oh.
The answer is purple because waffles won't make good ceiling tiles.
This is true. Or it could be 42.
Yeah.
That is the answer to everything.
It's true.
It is. So, no, I don't have anything else to ask. So I'm good. So, thank you, Shpoo. This was great. Thank you, Mandy, for including some questions. Thank you, Ray, for including questions. Jason, thank you for responding. This kept this really great. So, hold on. Jason does have some comments. So, Mandy still. I hadn't scrolled down far enough. Okay. You're welcome, Jason. We're glad to be able to help out, my friend. And
I'm right there with you. I've been in a funk all day.
Who have you?
Would be willing to host GeekyKOOL Ghost Hunt at his?
Yes.
Give me a time and a day. I'm there. My house, our house, literally on any day. Sure.
Yeah. No. Both Shpoo and I love ghost hunting, so that's.
Yes.
As long as they don't possess you, that's usually bad.
Right. If you had to die in any horror movies, which way would you want to go? Wow. Now that's a tough one. I'm gonna go one of two. Either Freddy.
Right.
Just because, might as well go through some kind of a cool experience before you die.
Right.
Or Jigsaw. Just because at least I would have theoretically a fighting chance.
I think I want a chest burster.
Ooh. or just stomped on by a kaiju. I don't know.
There you go. Stomped on by a kaiju. Yeah. As it's fighting a giant robot. That's awesome. So here.
Oh yeah. You could be like, "Oh, this is gonna suck," but how cool is that?
But as you're doing it, you've got to actually try to make your lips like you're actually speaking Japanese, but it's being dubbed.
No.
Anyway.
We're so bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun.
Godzilla can stop on me.
And
Says
I'm guessing
Geeky
maybe
Cool.
Keith. I'm not sure.
Might be Keith.
Might be Keith. It may be somebody else, but somebody on the GeekyKOOL site. So, yeah. I mean, Godzilla stop. I mean, that
Wait,
would be
is
instant death.
Danny on the GeekyKOOL side? Because Danny's
be
obsessed
Danny.
with Godzilla.
So I like Godzilla. Yeah. Oh,
No.
Ray, it's Ray.
Oh,
Hey, Ray. Thanks for watching. We're glad you're here with us, girl. All right.
Okay. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you both for being here. It's so good.
You're welcome.
Let's do it again next week, but
different thing, but let's do it again. Yeah. So we're gonna end this how we always end it. It happens to me, Ray, all the time. So
yeah.
it's fine. But we're gonna end this how we always end it, and that's shout outs to all of our friends. So let's get that rolling. We have our Oz Pod Gals over on Facebook Thursday night, 6 p.m. They did a really fun one for Halloween.
They did.
They posted, but go check them out. They are just super fun girls, and they're so geeky and nerdy, and they have all kinds of fun things. Like, they literally do these weird little things all the time. So, what are you doing?
These little things floating above my head, and I just noticed them.
Oh.
Like centered right directly in between them.
No, you're just a weird.
It's where there used to be little lights that hung on my shelf.
Yeah, you're weird.
I thought maybe you were fixing your tin hat.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna find it now.
I have one. I
know.
Just say it. Go over to Pop Culture Minefield. Check out our friends Keith and Gary. They have all kinds of amazing stuff. They get to talk to really cool people. They interview so many people, and Gary and Keith both know so much about everything.
They do.
That it's not as kid friendly, so if you have little ones, you might want to put the headphones on just so you can hear, and they can't, because they will drop some language, and I just want you guys to be aware of that.
He usually sits on this.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders in a tinfoil hat.
Oh my God, this is our life. We have Keith also has his own show called Keith Chimes In, and that's over on this Fat Steven Seagal show. That's Mondays at 3 p.m. And they're still he's still talking about.
Yeah,
it.
remember last week they're on season 3, so
yeah, so he's
they've got a long way to still go.
Yeah, Babylon, and so go check out Mr. Keith there, and be sure when you go check out all of our friends to give them a like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that stuff. It helps with our views, but it also helps us know that you guys are watching, and that way we know what you want to see. We also have our Nerd Informant friends, Tim and Josh, over at Nerd Informants on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. They're everywhere. They do some great reviews. They also give away, if you're in the Branson area, they give away tickets to see movies all the time.
They do. You guys got to go.
We got to go see Dune the other day. They put a thing on there, you answer the question, and you get put into a drawing to go see some movies at the big screen on the IMAX big screen in Branson. So go check them out. They also have a page where you can post all of your nerdy stuff, questions, memes, that sort of thing. And that is the Nerd Informants Beyond, and that's on Facebook. Anyone can add anything nerdy, geeky on that page. And if you have a question or just want to talk nerd with somebody, that's the place to be. Then we have the Skallywag. Check out our partner Shpoo on Skallywag Productions on YouTube. He has announced that he's going to be doing videos again.
And Mandy, if you're assuming you're still watching, if you didn't see the GeekyKOOL live stream from the other day, per your suggestion, my first official video back will be a review of Tiger King 2, assuming it gets released. Apparently the Baskins are trying to sue Netflix and prevent it from being released, but it's Netflix, so it'll happen.
So
is
her dead husband that she killed going to sue also? Is that part of it?
Maybe that's why she wants to sue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's trying to get it to stop. But, and then there's us, GeekyKOOL.com. We have our own website. We're on Facebook and YouTube as well. And as Shpoo says,
pop on over to www.GeekyKOOL.com, your one-stop shop for all things nerd.
And with that, we'll wrap it up for the evening. Thank you all for watching. We are so glad you all tuned in, watching this afterwards. And Shpoo is really close to the camera there. He's just stuck there. Like, extreme close-up.
It's a 1980s freeze frame.
There you go. I was just thinking of Wayne's World, extreme close-up. Oh. Party on, guard. Anyway, Shpoo is almost 3D, is what Jason says. That's true. All right, on that, we will leave you guys until next week. We thank you guys for watching and supporting us. We always appreciate you guys. Make sure to leave some sort of comments and subscribe and all that good stuff, and tell your friends about us because you know they'll like us. So because everybody likes us, we're awesome. So yeah,
they are, but yeah,
you are too. You're very much awesome. You're also part of the show. So until next week, you all stay geeky out there, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Hey, I never got robot voice.